pregnancy, cancer and a pandemic. 3 things you'd hope would never cross paths. But for Susan McKenzie, they have. Susan, thank you so much for joining us today. Sorry I can't be there to meet you in person. You have so much going on right now. First and foremost, how are you feeling today? How are you going today?
Feeling overwhelmed, anxious, but considering how everything's going, I'm doing okay.
When Susan was 5 months pregnant, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. What's the treatment that you're currently under?
I started chemo pretty much within a week of that diagnosis, and that was every 3 weeks for 4 rounds. Bit of a break now, and then baby's going to be born, and then hopefully 2 weeks after that I'll have my mastectomy, and then more chemo and radiation.
How has the treatment been going so far? How have you found the chemo?
It definitely feels like a truck has hit you.
I can imagine this whole pregnancy has just been completely different to what you had imagined going into it all those months ago.
You don't think anything of this would happen. I'll beat this, but it's not knowing will it come back in 5 years' time. Am I going to be alive in 5 or 10 years' time to see my kids?
Susan has 4 kids under the age of 6 and her husband works long hours.
You want this one?
I mean, you must just feel like you just want to lie down with the lights off and be on your own, and you can't.
Sometimes that sounds like a nice thought, but I just have to keep going. I have to pick myself up. I have to keep fighting for the kids. Is that yummy?
Yeah.
My nearly 6-year-old, he understands now. He asked me the other night, did I have no hair because I was sick? And I told him, not because I'm sick, it's because of the medication I'm taking to get better.
For a lot of Australians, including Susan, oncology and obstetric appointments have been delayed or moved online because of the coronavirus.
The best way to describe it is, at the moment, it feels like cancer has to take a back seat. We have to deal with the coronavirus.
Support services like at-home childcare and face-to-face counselling have also been ruled out because of social distancing rules.
It's lonely. When you first get diagnosed, you get told there's all this support, there's all this help, you're not alone, and then all of a sudden it feels like it's all just been pulled away from you.
To add to the stress, most cancer patients can't get access to the priority hour at supermarkets because they don't have a disability card or aren't over a certain age. What would you say to the big shopping companies that, you know, they're obviously trying their best but may not understand a situation like you? What do you need them to understand?
We need a bit of help too. We just like to be thought of and given priority like the elderly as well.
Susan reached out to the Cancer Council for help.
And I think there's a real commitment for everyone to come together. Let's make sure our policies and our procedures that are being set up for some of these priority programs don't exclude the most vulnerable people in our community.
At any one time, more than 1.1 million Aussies are either living with or have survived cancer. That's a huge number of people who need extra support right now.
And it can be a very lonely and isolating time to have cancer in the middle of a health crisis like this.
Extra staff have been hired to man the helpline desks. But the Cancer Council can't do everything. They're urging people to be more creative with their support for others.
We need to make sure that we're doing what we can. It might be dropping off food, it might be mowing the lawn. And in this digital age, really checking in to make sure people with cancer are going okay.
Let people in this position have a cry about how they're feeling. It's hard and we don't want to feel lonely.
I mean, what Susan's going through is just extraordinary. Any of those things separately is enough, you know. Yeah. And I think there's thousands, as we just heard it there, of Australians who have cancer right now. Cancer is the most frightening time to feel like your treatment might suffer, or you can't have your face-to-face appointments with a doctor, which you've been waiting for to find out more about your condition and what you can do. All of those things tweaking and changing. Even those doctors would be making sure they were doing their utmost to make sure you are a priority, but you'd be feeling so scared right now.
And alone, right?
And alone.
Because you're cut off from friends, potentially other parts of your family.
Yeah, and the Cancer Council is there. Their number is 13 11 20. Please call them if you need anything. And if you want to see statements from Woolworths and Coles and what they're doing, their details are on their website as well.